Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Professor Adijaya. Today, our
Morning.
number 10 is going to present the political discourse. Firstly, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Firman, please.
My name is Muhammad Firman. I'm number 13 in the class. Yeah.
And my name is Nila Yunavitasari, and I'm number 26 or 24, probably.
Okay, and I will be the last speaker, Yasuko, and I'm in 34, number 34. Thank you. Let's get started.
All right.
Okay. So now let's discuss about a political discourse. What is a political discourse? Kampf in 2015 stated that it is all talks and texts in relation to the political issues, or we can say that it's the language in the politics, or the actual language used of institutional politic actors, or the language of politician. So it both is about uh, the the conversation of the politicians and the conversation in discussing some politics. Van Dijk simplified the simplified version of the definition of political discourse. It is a written and spoken text of politicians. And in 2018, Amak Lobeli said that the political discourse is a communicative act that try to give us some specific meanings and to influence or to persuade others. Lips and Rebarts said that the political discourse it's not only used for the politician. So if you are talking in your family with your family members or with your friends or your relative about a politic, it's also are considered as a political discourse. So the next slide, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now we will talk about the political discourse development. Actually, the development of political discourse is increasing in 20th century because of so many political issues that raised in this century. For example, the voting of the president. We also know about the Jokowi versus Prabowo previously, and the new regulation from government about the UU PKS and that kind of thing. And also there is some political relation between nations and also politicians. A political discourse is actually rooted from two study. The first is the language and the second is politics. Aristotle said that language is only a facilitator for the politics issue. So in this statement or argument, Aristotle said that political should be a way that make the citizens feel happy. But Obeng and Hartford in 2008 say that the using of this language, this kind of language, political discourse, is aimed to achieve an expected effect or political cost by manipulating and try to reach someone opinion that or the audience. Okay, next. It's about the domain politic. Maybe Novita. Yes, it's Novita part.
Thank you very
Please,
much.
Novita.
I would like to continue for the domain of politics and political discourse. So there are, as you can see, that there are 13 of the domains. Yeah, it's a lot. So I'm going to explain it briefly one by one. So social domains or field is the label of the text or context, such as educational, health, or medical. But in this case, the domain should be political, and in the political system is the domain of the politic, such as, for example, democracy, and then communism, sociopolitics, and then the political values. It's the values that is shared in the political system, such as freedom or equalities, and then political ideologies is the ideologies or belief that is shared in the politic. For example, can somebody tell me what is the ideology of Indonesia?
Pancasila.
That's right. Wow, Yasuko know it, but not of you. Okay. Yeah, Pancasila is the ideology in Indonesia. And we're going to the political institutions. The political institution is the organization that is in the political fields. And then what is the difference with the political groups is that the political groups, it can be referred to as the political parties. All right, so not political organization. So normally the political organization, they have like the institutions inside, such as the governments. All right, so we are going to the political actors. The political actors are who are the politicians that is engaged with the political actions. And in the political relations, that the relations between uh, the political relation between the political actors or organization, or could be between groups. And in the political process is the sequence of the process of the political action. And in the political action is the most what is that, the most authentic that we can say, because it's the act of uh, a politic from the politicians. And in the political discourse is the text and context and the political. And in the political cognitions is that the it also can be called as a public opinion about a political, but which is the political, I mean, like the political knowledge that we have. Of course, we do have our own perspective based on the speech that the president has, or maybe, for example, the government in from Bali that give us some rules about COVID. And of course, we do have our own understanding about it, and we do have our own opinion about it as well, right? So we are going to the components of political discourse analysis. So in analyzing some things, of course, we do have components, not only for political discourse analysis, but if we are looking at political discourse analysis, there are some differences. I mean, like only for political and discourse analysis. So the first one is that the themes. The themes is the topic of the analysis of the political discourse, which, for example, persuasive and argumentative topic. And the actors is that which is the subject of the analysis itself, is that, for example, there are three main subject. For the first one is the politician, the second one is the journalist, and then the public. And then the method is the principles of the discourse analysis, not only political, which they can use it for the political discourse analysis. For example, such as the pragmatic way, or maybe semantic or historical, political, or for example, using discourse historical analysis. And then the fourth one is that using data, and the data that is got is that, like, for example, they are analyzing from oral or written. For example, for oral, the researchers normally can use TV, from podcasts. And then from the written one is that they can use it from the official announcement from the government, or probably like written rules, I mean, like new rules that the government publish. And then the goals is that either critical or descriptive. The critical is that to criticize the political dominations, for example, such as for freedom or for communism. probably, and or maybe descriptive. Normally in the descriptive, the researchers normally they are more into describing the linguistic aspects in that speech, or maybe in the announcement that the government give to us. So that's all about the components of the political discourse analysis, and that it will be continued by Yasuko. That's all.
Oh, this one, I guess.
Actually, this is my part.
Oh,
Oh.
Firman.
Oh, it's Firman's
Yeah,
part. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Now we are talking about the few points of political discourse analysis. But first, I'd like to explain about what is a political discourse analysis. It simply means that political discourse analysis is an analysis of political discourse. So we analyze the written or spoken text of politicians about the politics. So in 2016, Kirvalits and Samnits say that we have few points that we can use to analyze the political discourse. So the first is political viewpoint. The things that is analyzed here is the political point of view, which form the basis of conclusion, which is politological. Politological is like a study of politics. And the second is linguistic viewpoint proper. So the thing that is analyzed here is about the language, the linguistic feature that is used in every speech or conversation and so forth. And the third is a psychological view or viewpoint. What is revealed here and defined is about the strategies that are employed by the politician in their speech. So we analyze the strategy of politics in every speech and conversation of the politic. And then the last, we have the individual hermeneutic viewpoint. What is analyzed here is by looking at the politician attitudes towards the political issue that they are speak about or the speech about. So the next will be Yasuko's part.
Yes, good morning again, everyone. As a last speaker, I would like to give you an example of political discourse analysis. And I think all of you, or some of you already know that he is the former president of Obama and former president of the United States, Barack Obama, and he visited to make a speech at University of Indonesia in 2010. And actually, this time for this presentation, I used the study done by Leodora 2013, and the title of the paper was Political Discourse Analysis of President Barack Obama's Speech at the University of Indonesia. As Nobita explained briefly what the components of analysis is, I'd like to identify those 5 components based on the Oben and Hartford 2008. Number 1, theme. Theme is Indonesia's example to the world. That is the title of this speech. Number 2, this time the actors should be Obama and about 6,000 listeners as an audience. Number 3, data. There are 2 kinds of data available. One is if you search on the YouTube, you can see his speech. It's about 31 minutes available. And also on the White House website, there is an official transcript of his whole speech as a written data. Number 4, method. This researcher, Leodora, used, I believe it was systematic analysis. She focused on the relation of language use and the politics itself by using several concepts. Number 5, it was descriptive goal. And she described some perceptions of linguistic aspects. So Obama's speech, he divided his talk into three parts: their development, democracy, and religious tolerance. And he also talked about the economic partnership between Indonesia and United States. And Leodora, she used rhetorical analytical methodology to examine Obama's persuasive strategies. And rhetoric is one of the various dimensions of discourse structure. And according to Dijuk, 1995, classical rhetoric was at the first place developed as an art to persuade people in a political assembly. Also, I'd like to mention here, when I was searching whose paper, whose analysis I should use for this presentation for this morning, I searched a lot and I found 7 or 8 papers. And just I'd like to introduce you one researcher analyzed by focusing how Obama used transitive or intransitive verb, or how he used definite and indefinite article like and the. And also one person focused how Obama used the pronouns such as I or we. Mm-hmm. And one person did a modal verb like would or could, will, can. And one person analyzed by emphasizing what tense Obama used. Is that either present tense or future or past tense? And Leodora used 4 kinds of device. They are rapport, like harmony, togetherness. Number 2, anecdote. Number 3, anapola. And number 4, parallelism. Let's take a look one by one. Rapport. Actually, rapport is one of the most effective methods of rhetoric and speeches. And it creates harmony between the speaker and the listener. And according to Jacob, 2 techniques to build a sufficient rapport are available. One is by speaking the same language of the listener. In this case, Obama used some Bahasa Indonesia in his speech. And next one is by conveying hopeful messages. Okay, now here is the actual example of what Obama said in his speech. The first one, he applied rapport strategy. And the letters you see in blue, that is the actual speech that Obama used. And this is the strong opening. He made a very fascinating, inspirational opening to me. I think he's very charismatic. Okay, now the blue part, I would like Philman to read it for me. Thank you.
Okay, Yasuko, maybe I'm going to show what is the part that is used to strengthen the opening by using the Indonesian word. The one is terima kasih, thank you everybody. And we have also selamat pagi. And he also said assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. And the last, he said pulang kampung nih. Those part is the one that strengthened the opening of Obama's speech.
Thank you.
And give some positivity introduction.
Yes, thank you, Philman. And next one, he used anecdote. He used his personal story. The purpose was he wanted to confirm his personal bond, how tight it is between him when he was little and Indonesia. I think some of you or all of you know that when Obama was little, when he was 6 to he was 10, 4 years, he used to live in Jakarta. So he still remembers lots of words in Bahasa Indonesia. Please read the actual sentence. Firman, please.
Okay, maybe I'm going to explain about the anecdote part. And I learned to love Indonesia while flying kites, running along the paddy fields, catching dragonflies, buying satay and bakso, from the street vendors. I still remember the call of the vendors. Satay! I remember that, bakso. That is the satay bakso and running along, flying kites is the uh, proof that he has bond with Indonesia.
Okay, thank you. And by doing that, Obama was successful to shorten the distance between the speaker, between him and the audience. I just saw the notification. We have 10 minutes left. So, okay. Next one. Anapora. According to Harris 2010, anapora is the repetition of the same word or words at the beginning of the following phrases, clause, or sentences. This one is commonly used conjunction with a climax. And next, speak, he said that during when Obama was talking about repairing the relationship between USA and the Muslim communities, as you know that lots of there were lots of issues, right? Like in Bali, we had a Bali bomb too. Okay, please, Firman.
Okay, maybe I quote the United States is committed to human progress. That is who we are, that is what we've done, and that is what we will do. The repetition of that is here makes the Obama's promise sounds powerful and stronger.
Okay, thank you. And yes, as United States, such a powerful country, he wanted to emphasize that America needs more engagement with Muslim countries from now on. I mean, 10 years ago. The last one, last example, parallelism. This one, according to Harris again, several parts of a sentence are expressed similarly to show the ideas in the sentence are equal in terms of importance. It also emphasizes balance and rhythm. This, Firuman, please.
Okay, I quote that as a child of a different race who came from a distant country, I found this spirit in the greeting that I received upon moving here. Selamat datang. As a Christian visiting a mosque on the visit, I found it in the words of a leader who was asked about my visit and said, Muslims are also allowed in church. The word that is underlined here show that Obama truly has experience as a child living in Indonesia.
Yes, and I think personally, I feel his speech is fantastic, so inspirational, and I believe he must have moved lots of people's ideas and thoughts. Okay, now I think we can go to the conclusion for today.
Yeah. Sorry. Like that.
Firma, please.
Okay, for the conclusion, we can conclude that political discourse is written or spoken text that are related to the political issues, which is using the language of manipulation, give some specific meanings. And then there are some categories of political domain in political text, namely discourse analysis, social domains, political system, political values, political ideology, institution, organization, groups, actors, relations, process, action, and political discourse and political cognition. The political discourse analysis can be analyzed within 4 points, which are the linguistic point of view, psychological, individual hermeneutic, and the political viewpoint. The different types of strategies were used by Obama to convince the audience about how important the relationship between Indonesia and United States, and also it is used to raise support for the every policy that he said in his speech. I think that's all about the presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. If anybody has any questions, we'll do our best to answer your questions, please. Any questions?
If there is any questions, because if there is not, then we can start. I mean, we can stop the class then.
Yeah, later if somebody has still questions, then we can share on the psychology, I believe. Okay, then would like to end our presentation. Thank you so much, everyone, and I'm sorry to keep you waiting this morning.
Thank you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye bye.